a young Billings woman facing heartache on her birthday.
It makes me angry when anything gets stolen, but Mikey's probably one of the sweetest, kindest people that you would want to meet.
Another bike stolen in Billings, but this is no ordinary one. Plus, lucky to be alive.
I knew that it was going to be bad. I actually thought in the back of my mind that this might be the last thing that I see.
We speak with one man who barely survived the Hardin pileup accident Friday, and a new exhibit for Magic City children.
All these kids can enjoy something new and something exciting and have that be a good part of the community.
We'll take you in the aisles of this grocery store and check out what Wise Wonders is offering up. And we'll say goodbye to longtime sports director Scott Breen. The MTN News starts right now. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm Russ Riesinger. Today was supposed to be a celebration for Mikey Little as she turns 24 years old. But now there's a cloud hanging over her birthday as the Billings resident who lives with cerebral palsy had her adaptive tricycle stolen sometime over the last week. Our Casey Conlon has more.
Mikey Little doesn't drive a car, so the trike is her only means of transportation, and now it's missing after someone stole it right out of this front yard.
I'm sure your car's pretty important, so it's my car, basically. So.
Little's tricycle looks a lot like this one, except the basket in the back is white and there's a front basket that's black. She rode it to an appointment on July 12th and then went out of town for a few days. When she went to use it Monday, it wasn't in its normal spot right next to the porch.
I was a hot mess. Yesterday was rough. I was pretty devastated.
Tuesday was better. A birthday lunch at CJ's always helps.
I kind of gave myself a day, and then today I was like, okay, I know something good is going to come out of it.
But friend Peggy Swally is still angry.
They know what that trike is for. It's not for normal riding. It's for somebody who really needs to have it.
Little filed a police report and posted about the theft on her Facebook page, but Swally took it a step farther, posting in the Billings Neighborhood Watch page for its 27,000 members.
It's worth a try to put it out there because there's a lot of people on that page. So I don't necessarily have faith that the person who stole it's going to grow a conscience and give it back, but if people see it, they might be able to help.
She's already received a message about someone possibly donating a new trike, which would be a huge help.
They're hard to come by, but I'll figure it out somehow. But yeah.
But fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Nothing new. She's spent her whole life being resourceful. In Billings, Casey Conlon, MTN News.
The dust has settled, but grief in Montana is spreading as we learn more about the people killed and injured during that huge pileup near Hardin, called the most intensive multi-vehicle accident we've seen in this state. We're still waiting official confirmation on the identities of the 6 people killed, but today we talked with a driver injured in the crash for a first-hand account of how quickly everything happened. MTN's Jackie Coffin has the story.
It feels like I was hit in the chest with a bowling ball.
Wayne Bowles may not feel great on the eve of his 71st birthday, but all things considered, he feels lucky just to be here. The Post Falls, Idaho resident was one of the 11 people injured in Friday's 21-car pileup on I-90 near Hardin.
The visibility went from what I would say maximum visibility to 0 in a matter of seconds. Dust was so bad you really couldn't see your hand in front of your face.
Wayne says suddenly a semi-tractor trailer popped up in front of him and he made a move out of instinct, turning the steering wheel to the left.
Because I hit it at a minute angle, instead of just getting wedged under the tractor trailer, it actually caused my car to spin out. And I spun off into the bar ditch and over to the fence.
The car that came up behind him, a Mercedes Sprinter van, then crashed into the semi. MHP's accident report shows the 60-year-old man driving that van was killed. A statement from Crosscut Recreation Center in Bozeman says that was their founder, Eric Love. His wife Jackie was injured in the crash and hospitalized in Billings. Wayne's wife was with him in the car too, in a different way.
One of the things that I was carrying with me was my wife's ashes. My wife passed away at the end of April, and my plan is to take her ashes to Rio Doce, New Mexico, because that was her favorite place in the whole world. And I've got her ashes
Wayne's chest injury is deep bruising from the airbags deploying during the crash, but after some physical and emotional healing, he'll be back on track with his plan to visit his daughter in Texas and then lay his wife to rest.
The powers that be didn't want me to wait too long before you get back on the horse, as the old saying goes. I needed to get back behind the wheel, and I knew that. I've driven lots of miles, so I knew I needed to get behind the wheel. She made the ride right along with me.
In Billings, Jackie Coffin, MTN News.
Well, starting this Friday, you'll once again be able to drive the Beartooth Highway. Several sections of the famous road connecting Red Lodge to Cook City were washed out during last month's flood. But the Montana Department of Transportation says crews are ahead of schedule and almost finished making repairs to the highway. Highway 212 is now expected to reopen at 5 p.m. Friday, although the northeast entrance to Yellowstone National Park does remain closed to vehicle traffic.
In the coming days, we really have the heat building in across the region. We're going to have above average temperatures and also dry conditions, so it's going to even feel a little bit warmer with plenty of sunshine and a very light wind. Nothing to really move things around much as we saw today. In fact, take a look here across the region for Billings, Sheridan, Miles City, and Livingston. The temperatures stay very warm through the end of the work week, and even though we see a drop off towards the weekend, that's going to come with isolated storms. But in the short term, with these temperatures above average, make sure you keep in mind that it's a good idea to make sure you're hydrated, apply that sunscreen, try to wear a wide-brimmed hat, and maybe save those extra chores for outdoors until after the heat of the day.
Wise Wonders Science and Discovery Museum unveiled its new children's exhibit this morning in downtown Billings. The exhibit models a grocery store where children are given the opportunity to learn realistically in a controlled setting.
One of the main goals for that exhibit was to highlight the sort of everyday situations where kids can learn. And some of that is learning by playing.
If you ever wanted proof that learning can be fun, this is it. A grocery store just for kids.
We've got a bunch of exhibits that address science and math that you see in a lot of places, but this is one where I think we can bring the realities of science and math that we all experience to kids at their level.
The children's grocery store at the museum was designed with a number of goals in mind. First and foremost, helping students learn hands-on.
We wanted to feel as authentic as possible so that the kids have that real-world grocery store experience. But it's not just, pretend play. It's about counting. It's about learning about nutrition, colors, what types of fruits and vegetables are available.
This exhibit and others at the museum are made possible by donations from the community. In this case, Valley Credit Union.
What a better place to give back than to the kids, right? This is our future. We got to take care of them.
The ribbon cutting was plenty hectic. But so is an actual grocery store. Hands-on learning, as real as it gets.
Instant chaos, but that's what it's about, right? These kids, they need to have that. They need to be able to have a safe, enclosed environment where they can have instant chaos.
In Billings, checking out Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
Well, kind of a tough day here at Q2 as we officially say goodbye to sports director Scott Breen as he gets set to embark upon a new career. Scott's been with us for more than 3 decades. He'll join us a little later, but right now we want to hear from some of those who know him best.
I learned how good he was at what he did very fast. He traveled to tournaments, we stayed together at some of our state tournaments. I was also in his wedding and we consider him one of my best friends. And I just think he's tremendous at what he did for the Billings community in regard to sports. He's one of the best.
The MTN 530 News continues right after this.